welcome to Ask an Atheist. We're a weekly educational call-in program dedicated to atheism, skeptical inquiry, and the separation of church and state. We are live every Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific Time from SCAN Studios in Seattle, and you can also find us archived online at SCANtv. I'm Libbie Mistretta, your host, and my co-host for the week is Mike Gillis.
Hey.
And we are a call-in show, like I said, so you can call us and talk about any old topic your heart desires. You don't have to stick to our show's topic, which we'll get to in a moment. It's fun, you'll like it. But you can give us a call whenever you like at 206-421-5658. We'd be happy to talk to you about whatever you want to discuss.
Yeah, let's get that number up on the screen.
Number on the screen.
Da-da-da-da.
There it is!
Magic!
It is magic.
Magic.
We are skeptics here, but we do believe in video toaster magic, as you can see.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we've got a couple of announcements before we jump to our show here. We've got the SCAN Awards coming up for our public access studio here. So
much more prestigious than the Oscars, I think.
Totally.
Yeah.
Although they will cut us off if we talk too long with some music. They'll bring in the cut-off music.
In fact, many shows on SCAN actually cut off with music.
Nice. So you can vote for us anyway. The point here is vote for us for the SCAN Awards, please. It would be fantabulous.
Yes, we're actually going to be up for like 4 different awards we're eligible for. If you go to SCANtv.org, that's the official website for the station that we're on, the Public Access Network. You can actually get a look at an advertisement for it. Voting actually doesn't start until September 1st. Wednesday, September 1st, from then until the end of the month, till the 30th. We're eligible for 4 different awards, which is Favorite Religious Program, which is deliciously ironic, Favorite New Program, Favorite Locally Produced Program, and Favorite Live Studio Program. So help us beat out the program where they think Hurricane Katrina is an inside job.
Oh
so.
Yeah, please. We gotta, come on.
Yeah.
We have, next week is our email show, which we've been getting lots of great emails from viewers, which is cool. Please do email us. You can go to askanatheist.tv. You can email us questions, statements you want to make, anything you care to email to us. We are happy to receive them. Anyway, we've gotten so many great emails that we're actually hoarding them for one specific show, which is going to be next week, our email show. So if that episode goes well and we like the format and you like the format of the email show, we'll do it about once a month probably, or 6 weeks, whatever. So please send us your emails. It'll be good times. Yeah,
don't worry about the fact that we haven't been actually answering these on the show. We've been holding on to them. We figured, it's better to give you more of the topic for that episode. It's easier to put off an email for another week than it is to put off the rest of the topic.
Right.
So please send in your emails and let us know what you think. Also, ask your questions, challenge us, throw anything our way. We'd be more than happy to try to tackle that. Plus, we can give it our full attention next week. So
yes, absolutely. If you're a local free thought group and would like to get a plug on our show, please go ahead and contact us on the email form at askanatheist.tv. We'd be happy to give you some props on the air and hopefully send some more members your way.
All
so,
right.
Are we ready to jump into news? Because I have a really great news story. I love it.
Let's do it.
Okay. Possibly the greatest example of journalism writing ever to hit the Associated Press. This is an article by a writer named Jeannie Noose, who I want to find and hug. I mean, this is really great. And she was helped by Doug Whiteman. I just have to put that in there because that was specified in the article. But the subject of this news article is bikini-clad strippers protest church in rural Ohio. So right off the bat, it's going to be great.
It sounds like a trauma film.
I know, it does, and it just gets better. So it says, the strippers, fueled by Cheetos and nicotine, are protesting a fundamentalist Christian church whose Bible-brandishing congregants have picketed the club where they work. The dancers roll up with signs carrying messages adapted from Scripture, such as, "Do unto others as you would have done unto you," to counter church members who, for 4 years, have photographed license plates of patrons and asked them if their mothers and wives know their whereabouts. So this fundamentalist Christian church in rural Ohio has been sending its members out for years to patrons of the strip club, which, by the way, is 9 miles away from the church. The club is called the Foxhole, which is great. 9 miles away from New Beginnings Ministries and in Warsaw, Ohio, and they've been harassing patrons for that long. So it says club owner Tommy George met with the preacher at New Beginnings Ministries, a guy named Bill Dunphy, offered to call off his not-quite-nude crew of stripper protesters from a 3-month-long protest if the church responds in kind. So basically, they've been having this battle, like church people go and hold up threatening signs outside the strip club, and strippers come out on Sunday and like hang out in front of their church with signs, which is maybe the greatest protest and counter-protest in the history of protesting and counter-protesting.
It's kind of an odd irony. If you go into almost any Christian church, you'll find Jesus wearing less clothes.
Oh, you're so right.
Jesus has rock-hard abs, I've noticed.
He does.
Does a lot of push-ups.
He always looks good.
I mean, those things aren't hard to carry, and up a hill, too.
Yeah, totally.
So, you know, it's...
We're going to get email from that one.
But I find it kind of funny that 9 miles away, I mean...
9 miles away! And,
apparently, there's no real distance barrier on, you know,
well,
being
evidently
a morality
not. This is what the Pastor Dunphy says. As a Christian community, we cannot share territory with the devil. Light and darkness cannot exist together, so the foxhole has to go.
Can you really have light without darkness?
Well, let's not get into the philosophical. We're talking about strippers here. So anyway, the article goes on for a while. It's pretty funny. Then we have the Citizens for Community Values in Cincinnati, Ohio has to step in and say something, because this has been going on for like 4 years and 3 months now, right? The group's president, Phil Burris, said the strip club has a right to be there. It's illegal. He says it's a legal business whether he, Dunphy, likes it or not. And then it says, the club operates in a white plywood box of a building. Beer cans and a dollar bill peek out from the grass like Easter eggs last Sunday. This writing is so evocative. It's really wonderful.
The person who wrote this loved this article to death.
And it goes on to say, the Foxhole encourages customers to check out its $30 private dance special, promoting it on the kind of sign convenience stores use to advertise cheap milk and cigarettes. Out back, letters on the bulletin board have faded away so that no touching now reads, ouch. It's great. And then finally, I do actually have a serious note to wrap up this incredible article. Ray Anderson, who heads Newcastle Ministries, which is a different church in the area, with her husband, says her church believes Dunphy is doing what the Lord called him to do, but her parish takes a different approach. She says, you can share the truth, but you can't make anyone believe what you believe. Ain't that the truth, Ray Anderson? So rock on, you strippers. Keep doing what you're doing.
Word.
All right.
I've got one. This is from a couple weeks back. We've been sort of saving this one. Basically, there is a place called St. Nicholas Mira Vacation Bible School. As you can imagine, this is just a lot of fun to go there. They get the campers there, these kids. These are like 8-year-olds, 7 and 8-year-olds. They get a special treat. They get a phone call from God, who apparently, you know, I guess I don't know what kind of the bill would be like from heaven. The reception is just complete crap.
Well, that's a really long distance call. I mean, that's gotta hurt. Do they have phone cards you can buy at like the gas station?
I mean, I lose reception when I drive past the high school near my house. So I can't imagine, you know, what I guess another realm or whatever would be. But anyways.
A phone call from God.
Yeah, it says that every child participating in the program received a call from God Wednesday as they took part in games, music, crafts, all this week at the Church Vacation Bible School. This is the first year for the program, organized by Greg Betancourt, Faith Format Director.
Wow, that's an interesting title.
You have format the way you pretend to know things.
Faith Format.
And religious education teachers at the church. The one-week camp ran from 9 a.m. to noon, Monday through Friday. What I find so funny about this is a lot of these religious groups will just go, you know, nuts.
Sorry,
the picture of the kid on the phone.
The picture of this kid on a cell phone, and she looks horrified. She's like,
well, have you read the Bible? What do you think
God's
saying?
Call from God? Oh,
seriously.
That's great. I wish we could put it up on the screen.
Telling her to stone witches to death or something.
She's, that's
Remember,
a great,
your private parts make you a bad person. It's a good thing to tell kids. What I find so funny is that these religious groups just get so up in arms about things like Camp Quest. Like, oh, indoctrinating them with atheism. But what I find so funny is that the counselors at Camp Quest don't actively lie to the kids going to the camp. Because that's not really God on the phone. Spoiler alert. It's one of the counselors, and they're actually lying to children. I don't even know if they put on a scary voice or some kind of an echo. You know, maybe God sounds like, I've always liked the idea of God sounding like Gregory Peck.
That's good.
I mean, James Earl Jones is a good standby.
Yeah.
That's what I was funny, because there is actually one of those audiobook Bibles read by James Earl Jones.
That's a good pick, I have to say. He's
if you
got a good voice for it.
Want crossover appeal with that, take the audio Bible by James Earl Jones and add a breathing sound to it, and you basically have the Darth Vader Bible.
This is already the best
You
episode
have
ever.
failed me for the last time, Moses. So, I just think it's crazy, lying to children. And it's amazing that they really have this sort of, I wouldn't necessarily call it Machiavellian, but this idea that any amount of dishonesty to children is warranted as long as it's in the cause of indoctrinating children. That saving their souls is worth lying to them in this life.
I just want to know whether God uses an iPhone or a droid.
I don't know.
It's a big question, right?
I imagine he has probably some magic ear that lowers down on a string, like in the Mexican Santa Claus movie, and he talks directly into that, or maybe just tucks down this long Ricola horn.
Oh man. Okay, well, on a serious note, this article actually has been. We all kind of. I know a lot of people passed this to me on Facebook. A lot of people really wanted us to touch on this article. This just came out, I think, 2 days ago. A study was done. A study was finally concluded concerning the religiosity of doctors in Great Britain and how that affects their patient care. And depending on who took a look at this study and then wrote an article about it for which news source, we got very different headlines ranging from, study about religious doctors has been concluded or something to that effect, to this one, which is really horrible.
Oh.
Study, atheist doctors more likely to pull the plug.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but this was actually from CBS News, and I'm going to read a little bit of the way this particular journalist spun the news article. According to a mail-in survey of nearly 4,000 British doctors, those who were atheist or agnostic were almost twice as willing to take actions designed to hasten the end of life. They were also far more likely to offer continuous deep sedation until death and discuss end-of-life options with their patients. Now, of course, my question is, what's wrong with discussing end-of-life options with terminally ill patients? I mean, that's something, in my opinion, a responsible doctor would do that.
Yeah, I find it, basically what they're doing is they're giving their patients less information. They're basically saying, I don't approve of this potential option, so I'm just going to pretend that it doesn't exist.
Right.
And it's really not your call. And it's the same thing, what I hate about that article, less likely to pull the plug. It's not the doctor who makes that decision.
Right.
The doctor isn't the person with the authority. The doctor isn't like Dr. Mengele. They're not like, ha ha ha, die, patient. They don't have the authority to do that. And in fact, if you look at even these right to die laws, the way we have like in Washington State and in Oregon, you have to go through a long, long process.
Right.
One, to protect the doctors in the hospital, legally, but also to make sure that this is what the patient wants and make sure that they really are in a state where their life is going to be perpetual living hell.
Right. That's one of the main issues here is that this study really looked at how religious affiliation or religious belief and the degree to which one feels religious. They looked at people who considered themselves to be mildly religious versus people who considered themselves to be extremely and actively religious, and people who were not religious at all, how likely they were to put quality of life over what the study termed sanctity of life. And it seems that overwhelmingly the more religious a doctor was, the more likely they were to take action and to promote options to preserve life and to draw life out at all costs versus allowing
its quality.
Versus allowing a patient who was terminally ill and whose quality of life was really diminishing to choose whether they wanted to continue treatment or to pursue end-of-life options, basically is what the study came out with. But like I said, depending on who got hold of it and whose journalism assignment this was, it was spun in all kinds of different ways, and I saw several interesting headlines, but this was definitely the worst. Atheist doctors twice as likely to pull the plug.
Yeah, I mean, it's
woo!
If you want to look at that in a different light, too, say, well, what if it's a patient asking that doctor to end their life? Are we really going to say, are the religious doctors straight out refusing to honor that patient's wishes? Is that what this is really about? I'm sorry, that's not the doctor's job. The doctor's job, I mean, they can give you information and make it so that you're informed to make these decisions in an intelligent way. It's just kind of, it's mind-blowing.